Hey everybody, Argent here. So people have been asking me about this for a little while now, and I was just kind of waiting for a good day to do it. So let me just put up the link. I'll just hit the save button in a minute. So people have been asking me to have a stream just where anyone can come on. So if any viewer of mine wants to come on, talk to me, talk to other people, just kind of hang out, that's okay. Just a few ground rules. Please don't do Holocaust denial. You can have whatever view you want, but that gets you shut down. And please keep the explicit racial slurs to a minimum. You can be edgy, you can talk about race realism, whatever. Just that's the kind of stuff that gets you shut down really, really quick. So just keep that low. Make sure that if you're going to come on, it automatically switches your face cam on. So if you don't want your face shown, don't just make sure that's disabled. Just in general, be careful because Google Plus tends to take your IRL name. So without further ado, let's have people come on. I'm a bit low energy today. I can't really go out and do anything. So there we go. The link is in the chat now. Feel free to come on. Okay, let me just refresh. Also, if you're going to come on and you're kind of done talking, please just don't stay on. If you're finished, just kind of disconnect because otherwise not everybody will get a chance to talk. I probably should have advertised this. Now, the reason I haven't really had one of these in a long time is because, well, what happened last time I did one of these was a guy came on with 6 socks and basically just did like showed his stomach for an extensive amount of time. Hello, Horace Finkelstein.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Rather queer. Jesus. Howdy.
Howdy. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine. Just finished writing an essay. So, that's good.
Oh, yeah?
So what do you want to talk about?
I don't know. Just whatever.
Okay. And I see that someone else is on.
It is me.
Shalom.
Hello. The draw on YouTube apps no longer work after April 25th, 2017.
Yeah, you used to technically be able to watch YouTube videos together, but they disabled and removed that for whatever reason. Because YouTube just removes functionality on a daily basis.
Definitely.
Wonder why.
Oh, hey there, Andre. So, Argent, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
This is probably going to infuriate a couple people who I personally know. It's not intended to troll you, obviously.
Okay, go ahead.
It is, what is your opinion on paleoconservatism? Mainly, people like Barry Goldwater, Calvin Coolidge. And...
Okay, just a note on Barry Goldwater, I think, supported gay marriage.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Barry Goldwater was like...
I thought he didn't support legalization. He believed the state should just leave it up.
I think, because I've looked at it, I think he was actually kind of like more of a libertarian. He was not really socially conservative.
All right, and I guess I'm Ron Paul or not Barry Goldwater. Calvin Coolidge could better fit that example.
I don't really have an issue with them that much. I mean, I'm not really a Puritan. I think okay, whoever's mute yourself. Just there's a lot of background noise. Or just turn down the gain on your mic. No, I don't really have an opinion. I don't really mind paleocons. They're allies. I'm not nearly as ideological Puritan as a lot of people. So, no, I don't have an issue with paleocons. I've read, I think, 2 of Pat Buchanan's books. I think Suicide of a Superpower, and I forget what the other one was. but I did like
Isn't it
them. And
Death of the West?
yeah, I think it was Death of the West. And I liked his books. I like his articles normally. In particular, I like his his thoughts on economics. But yeah, I don't really have an issue with him. I kind of feel like Jared Taylor is kind of a bridge between Paleocon and White Identity. Because he kind of comes across as like Jared Taylor, I always like to say, kind of reminds me of like my grandpa or something.
Your
He's-
old racist Virginian grandpa?
Yeah, he
Oh,
just
I'm
comes,
Jared Taylor from American Renaissance.
he just comes across as like this kind of lovable old man who like is taking his kids out to a baseball game, his grandkids out to a baseball game, that kind of thing.
You know he was born in Japan, eh?
Yep, his parents were Presbyterian missionaries, if I recall.
He's the original weeb.
He kind of is. He does like East Asians a lot, and I could kind of I don't know. I like Asians too. I'm not like well, I guess I am a bit of a weeboo, but yeah, I like Asians.
If Thomas Aquinas was the Pope, would you be supportive of him?
Why wouldn't I be?
He's the Pope. Why wouldn't we support the Pope?
Yeah.
The
Would
current
would
Pope
you be
is
a lot
pretty
more
bad.
supportive of him than, let's say, most popes of today?
Yeah, I mean, I really like Benedict. I think he was a pretty good balance. I'm not like a super rad trad or anything, so I thought he did a pretty good job in general. Ultimately, I think he kind of failed because I'm not sure. I think there probably was a palace coup and they forced him to resign.
On that topic, what do you think caused him to resign? Like, what dirt do you think they had on him?
I don't think it was dirt. I had some people on who knew a bit more about this a long time ago, and they said he just kind of gave up. He was just too old that he didn't have the energy to fight anymore.
Ah, shame.
And he just wanted to leave it for someone younger to try to deal with the ongoing issues. And I guess that's kind of how I feel about him. I can't really blame him. Like, how old is he now? Like 90?
Oh God, he's like the George Soros of popes.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he was kind of like, I can't do it anymore.
He's 89 right now.
Okay, he's 89. Like, I can't really blame the guy for, like, I guess he was 87 then, just saying, I don't have the energy. And I think he also just, sorry?
Oh, no, go ahead.
I think he wanted to avoid what happened with John Paul II, because John Paul II was kind of comatose for, like, the second half of his papacy, and he was just kind of a vegetable, and just all this shit just happened because he well, he was just a vegetable. He couldn't like intervene and stop all the bullshit from happening because he wasn't around, and everyone just kind of went in a bonanza. And I think Pope Benedict wanted to avoid that, and I guess he felt maybe his cognitive facilities and just his general energy were starting to slip.
But just imagine we could have 3 more years of Pope Benedict, and now we have Pope Frank. Jesus.
I mean, he is awful. He is, in my view, probably the worst pope. Because there's been like worse popes in terms of personal behavior, like Rodrigo Borgia, who's probably in hell. But
What about Alexander? Or some.
oh, that is yeah.
The question of whether it's worse to have theological heresy versus moral sin. Like, while a person in the papacy could be not a good person, as long as he's preaching orthodoxy in the theological sense, it doesn't have that big effect on the faith itself. The problem with Pope Francis is that what he says can be construed as heresy, which makes him dangerous.
Well, I don't even know if it's like the problem is he's just vague. Like a lot of his stuff he says isn't even really probably heresy. He's just very vague, and he's just not a very cautious person. And in a time where there's just a lot of doubt over things, he really doesn't help. But yeah, as I was saying about Rodrigo Borgia, I had some people on, and they were saying that as horrific as his personal life was, he was actually known as being a great preacher. He was considered one of the best preachers of his age, even though he was an evil person. But I mean, personal corruption of the Pope was one of the things that led to the Reformation. Particularly Pope Leo X was so extravagant. That's kind of where indulgence selling really picked up. Was he just started it en masse as a way to fund his lifestyle. But Pope Francis is kind of the wrong man at the exact wrong time in history, I think is a good way to put it.
Well, the one good thing about him, though, is that we'll probably never have another Pope Francis. Like, the Cardinals will never elect someone who's this uncouth.
Yeah, I wonder if they just didn't realize what he was like back in the day. Because I've heard varying things about his record. Like, some people say he was sort of anti-liberation theology. Some people say he was. I think he was I think people thought he was like kind of economically populist but doctrinally orthodox, and that was kind of the reason they picked him. But
I was reading that when he was the Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he was very supportive of folk Catholicism, where like the little things that go and get like the working class folks into the churches. And I think that was one of the big reasons why they brought him in, because he was like a pope of the people. The problem is they didn't realize that he was a bit of a loose cannon when it comes to what he says.
Hello? Anybody there?
Yep.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Do you guys allow freedom of speech on this network?
No freedom of speech. This is Canada.
Well, yeah, just as I said, try to avoid racial slurs and don't do Holocaust denial, just because those are the two things that get you shut down. But,
yeah, do you guys want to debate me publicly here or privately on another channel, another video?
About what?
About God.
Oh, dear.
I might do a particular live stream about that. I just kind of don't want to get sidetracked for hours on it.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure.
It's a bit unrelated. It's very unrelated to theology, the Catholic Church, and all that, but it'll be asked.
Mm-hmm.
What's your opinion on the fact that most studies, there's a very sharp lack of studies involving high IQ and mental illness?
What do you mean?
Like how a lot of people I was reading a book by Aaron Clary, The Curse of the High IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I found out and after doing my research I still continue to realize that there's a sharp, disgustingly small amount of studies which involve, I guess, looking up people of high IQs and the rates of mental illness.
You mean their tendency of mental illness around people with high IQs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 15, I have an IQ of 150, and many people might consider me to be mentally ill, I guess.
Do you have some sort of like gifted or enriched program where you live?
Yeah.
Like for high IQ people? Are you in it?
Yes.
Do you find there's a high tendency of people to have learning disabilities, just general eccentricities, or various forms of mental illness just among the people you go to class with?
Not exactly. It's maybe like 1/8 or 1/10.
Because I found it was almost universal that people just tended to have really kind of quirky personalities or mental issues when I was in that.
For me, it's not really pronounced at home at all. It's just pronounced I'm not pronounced at school. It's only pronounced at home. That might just be due to the fact that my environment I've been raised in is so shitty. I mean, I live in a great home, live in a first world country. Parents are like the top 1%, but just the way they raised me is just I can't really live with it very long.
Right. From my limited experience involving this, or just the research I could find, it depends on the mental illness. Some are correlated with high IQ, like OCD and bipolar.
How about depression?
Sorry?
How about depression?
Depression is to a certain extent. Like I know, for instance, with regards to blacks, they have much lower stress levels in general. And that's so I think in general, the lower your IQ, the lower your stress level is. But
I see.
In general,
I see. It's kind of like the hard truth of reality versus the I guess the happy delusion. I guess that's the way of saying it.
Well, it's also just time preference. Like you just worry about things more, and there is like kind of a I guess kind of a jumping off point where worrying about things has diminishing returns. But generally speaking, people who are neurotic plan better for the future and stuff like that. Like from my understanding, the countries with the highest rates of mental illness are like in Northern Europe. They're like Germanic, Anglo, also like Korea and Japan. And the people there are incredibly neurotic, but they also have low time preference, high social trust, and stuff like that.
I see. Thanks for accepting me. I might join in a bit later. So see you a bit later.
Okay. Let's see who else is even in here. Okay, if anyone else wants to come on, feel free. Let's see, is there anything in the chat? Magnesium deficiency. I've tried taking magnesium. It kind of helps. It's inconsistent. Thoughts on Dirigsme? I think it's Dirigsme. I never know how to pronounce that word. I think it was a fairly good economic system. I think in general, any kind of form of regulated capitalism probably just works the best as opposed to any sort of LARPy economic system. I mean, that was kind of what built America. That's built most Western economies. I think people kind of have this idea that America was a complete laissez-faire country, which wasn't true. America had something called American School Economics. And basically, American School Economics was tariffs to develop infant industry, investments in technology and education, investments in infrastructure, and stable money. In general, that worked pretty good. I mean, you can't really argue with the results.
Yeah, it sort of went out the window, though, when they got the world empire.
America?
Yeah. Free trade is a very way of controlling other countries.
Yeah, if you have a competitive advantage, it is. Like, I don't know a ton about free trade. I think free trade probably works when you have two countries of similar development levels. Like, I think it probably works pretty good between America and Canada, but Mexico should not, and China should not be in a free trade agreement because their economies are just completely different. Like, I think within Europe, it makes sense. I don't know if the common market necessarily makes sense, but I don't think there's a big enough development gap necessarily for it to be an issue. The euro is kind of, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the EU.
Here's a question. What are your thoughts on the French election?
I don't think Marine Le Pen can win.
Nah, neither do I. I think there's very little hope in that regard.
And that's not because of anything she will do, but you have to understand, France has an instant runoff system. So whenever there's an election, all the candidates will run, and the two candidates that get the largest percentage of the vote will have a second round election with just those two candidates. And that was specifically put in place, and this is not a conspiracy theory, this is what they said, to stop the Front National from ever winning.
That was under her father, right?
Yeah, because they used to get pretty good. So like what happens is the National Front will get like maybe, let's say 35% of the vote. They'll get a plurality of the vote. The Conservative will get like 25, the Socialist will get like 25, and then it'll be a runoff between maybe the National Front and the Conservative, and all the Socialists will vote for the Conservative, or all the Conservatives will vote for the Socialist. And it's extremely difficult for the Front National to win any seats, regardless of the amount of the vote they get. Like, they are probably the largest party now based on percent of popular vote. But France has a very, very anti-proportional system.
So who do you think's going to win then? You think it's going to be Marchand?
It could be March. Is maybe Marchand. Has UMP said who they're running yet?
UMP, it's the Les Républicains right now. They changed their name. It's
Right, I
Fillon.
always forget. Fillon? Isn't he like not a bad guy?
He is, but he's in a bunch of shit right now because apparently there's a scandal about his wife getting tax money for not actually doing anything, and the media is really hitting him hard for that.
Yeah, but I forget. Is he the guy who has like 4 or 5 kids?
He's the one they call a conservative Catholic.
Yeah, like he doesn't seem that bad as far as like center-right parties go, but obviously I would prefer Marine Le Pen. She said she'll get rid of gay marriage if she gets elected.
I doubt that entirely.
I still think it's a step in the right direction. You got to move the Overton window somewhere, and I don't know. I don't think that's so bad. I mean, the Front National, if you're in France, they're kind of the only people you have to vote for. So I think if Hollande was running again, then Marine Le Pen might actually be able to beat him because he's so despised. But
Yeah, no,
in the current scenario, no.
yeah, that guy's a bozo.
He's like the Justin Trudeau of France. I don't know a ton about him. He just seems like
Well,
a tool.
At least Justin Trudeau has nice hair. What does Hollande have, other than a mistress?
Yeah, Francois Hollande. Just once again, chat, if you guys want to join, feel free. There's a link in the description. Just click and you can come on in and yell. I don't know, yell at me or whatever.
I give Hollande props, though, for going after ISIS after the Nice attack, or was it the Paris attack? Like, at least he did something. Like, if there was an attack in Toronto right now, I think Trudeau would just, like, say, oh, it's terrible this happened, and then we wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, like he withdrew, I think, Canadian aircraft from bombing ISIS because he's that much of a cuck. I mean, how much a cuck do you have to be like, oh, I don't think we should be killing members of ISIS? It just, it pisses me off.
Argent, if you kill your enemies, they win.
Yeah, I forget. I'm trying to find a clip of where he said that. Did he actually say that, or is that like a meme? Because I've heard people say that was a meme.
I don't know. I heard on the Rebel, which is that's reputable. Not entirely sure.
It is. They're kind of alarmist, and they kind of. I'm just trying to think of how to describe them. I'm not trying to attack them, but they are. I'm trying to think of what the term for that is. Sensationalist. That's the word I'm thinking of.
I agree, but I don't know. One of my buddies works for them, and I don't entirely trust them.
I support them because they're much better than like the mainstream. Like the CBC is cancer. Global is cancer on top of cancer, and City TV is like AIDS on top of cancer. They're
Too
awful.
true. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're based out of Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto is kind of like pause city. Well, no, I mean it literally is. I remember looking at it out of curiosity. 25% of men's sex with men in Toronto have HIV.
I'm not surprised, truly. Like, you read like the beginning of the HIV epidemic in California. It's insane. These people just fuck each other constantly without protection, and then what do you get? Oh, you die.
It's funny because one of the things that my friend Abstract used to be really, really soft on that issue, and then he saw a standard fuck party, and it just completely changed his opinion. And I find that fairly common that a lot of people are kind of soft on that issue, and then they see standard fuck party.
You gotta take the filth pill.
The filth pill. Someone said he disappeared. Is he still on, or
They took down his Bandcamp.
Bandcamp?
Yeah, he had all of his content hosted on Bandcamp, and like he would go and he could like buy his special things for like $1 or something. But they took him down due to homophobia or something.
Yeah, I think the reason he got kicked from TRS was like he just would post like the most disgusting shit like all day, every day. And they were just like, dude, enough.
I don't know how you can. There's something a bit masochistic about it when you look at the worst of homosexuality every day and you actively look for it. There's something wrong with you. I'm sorry.
No, like Common Filth is the only case where I could see if he actually had like subconscious like homosexual tendencies, and this is kind of him like signaling against them. I could actually see it in his case. Like, and I don't say that for anybody else, just because of how obsessed he is with it. Like, he literally, it's all he will talk about. And I think people have asked him to talk about other stuff, but he won't.
No, he's obsessed.
And yeah, do you know Earl of Grey?
Is he the one who puts out Bane posting videos?
He used to have like the largest kind of edgy Facebook page, but then it got shut down. And now it's back up again. But he is a disciple of Common Filth. He really likes Common Filth.
Is it a picture of the guy from The Dark Knight Rises?
No, Earl of Grey has a country ball.
I'll check for it.
But yeah, he's a friend of mine and he really likes him. No, Earl of Grey has a country ball. Mute that, please.
I'll check for it.
He has a Facebook page.
But
he's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Okay, whoever has the stream on, please just mute the stream. Just because I'm getting feedback when I talk. Okay, good, thanks. Let's see here. So, wait, Common Filth was a part of TRS at one point? Yeah, that was back before I ever went on TRS. I mean, I haven't been on TRS in like a year now. I just stopped going on the Daily Showa. No, sorry, I stopped not going on. I never went on, but I stopped listening to the Daily Showa just because it was really just boring. It's just a lot of the time it's just like 3 or 4 hours of just constant shit posting. Like I kind of liked a lot of their early stuff, like back when they used to do like their episode on Pinochet was really good. Their 9/11 episode was really good. And over time they just kind of stopped doing videos on actual stuff and they just shit post for like 4 hours with no plot. I don't know if that's unfair or not, but that's just kind of how I feel about it.
What are your thoughts on do you know about the doxing, the great doxing?
Yeah, I had my friend Abstract on, who's kind of involved with TRS, and he talked a bit about that. So yeah, I heard a lot about Doxgate, as I call it. Anything in particular you were wondering about what I think about it? Let's see, Doxgate. I mean, to be fair, like about Millennial Woes, he was kind of asking for it. Like, he kind of wanted to be a big celebrity and go to all these conferences and stuff. And I think how he ultimately got doxxed was, I forget if it was Richard Spencer or Red Ice Radio that said his full name, like when they were introducing him. And I mean, that was just kind of like, what did you expect?
I respect Millennial Woes through and through, but if you make videos with your face on them, you're going to get doxxed no matter what. Hello? Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Hi, Argent.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, my name's Big Lebowski. I've been a long time sorry, my microphone's a bit off.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I've been a long time subscriber to you.
Oh, thank you. I should do these more often. Yeah, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. I know a lot of people say that, but it always is just really nice when people say stuff like that. So thank you.
For a quick aside, I want to know how you guys found about Argent. Like for one, I discovered him from Orini.
I actually I found him like when I was the first video I saw was it was the Libertarian slash Starship Troopers video you did a while back. The reactionary review for that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a while ago. That I think is like one of my biggest reaction reviews, though. I mean, just in terms of the people who watched it.
I was kind of one of the guys in the comments section was kind of. It was after I found out who libertarians. I was the libertarian that was kind of whining how it was kind of like it's like libertarian socialism, because I just found about the libertarian socialist rants guy and the bullshit he was just spewing out, and I kind of was quick to judge on your video.
What was? Sorry, it's been a while.
That's okay. That's okay.
What were you saying? Like, what did you think I was talking about?
I thought it was an oxymoron, similar to how libertarian socialism would have been.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yep. Okay, I remember that.
And
yeah,
it is,
like, and that was kind of like part of the. I guess it was kind of supposed to be a bit of a provocative title, in a sense.
Yeah, and then I started watching a few more of your videos. I'm like, oh, that's why he came to that conclusion.
Yeah, a couple people are referring to some of the more mainstream stuff I've done, like my DSP stuff, Chris Chan, that kind of thing. Yeah, I kind of just have a lot of different interests, and I mean, props to Millennial Woes, but I kind of find he can be boring because he just kind of does the same video over and over and over again. Like I get it, the refugee crisis is bad, but I mean, there's other stuff to talk about. So
I also liked your Catholic theology videos. I mean, I'm a Catholic myself, and it's kind of nice to see someone in the same religion on YouTube. Videos on YouTube.
Yeah, that's kind of why I started reactionary reviews. I think actually what it was I think I was watching like a two best friends a two best friends let's play, and just in general I just got tired of the constant snipes in them against Christians and conservatives and stuff, and I initially had wanted to do a movie review channel, but I kind of over time was like, I'll do politics. And there's actually a guy who used to watch it. He's like, Argent, I don't really like your 5-minute long movie reviews. Do like half-hour ones, because a lot of us don't want to watch the movie. So just talk about like the whole plot of the movie and kind of tell the story. So yeah, that's kind of where that came from. But yeah, let's see here. Get Out Normies Re.
Well, that didn't work out in 1066.
What about 1066?
I actually saw, it was a meme I saw that was just absolutely hilarious. It shows during 1066, you know, the Battle of Hastings. On the Saxon shield wall, it just shows faces of Pepes going.
Actually, an ancestor of mine fought at Battle of Hastings.
Yeah, actually, interesting thing too. My family's mostly Irish, but I looked up my last name, and turns out they were a Norman family that came to Ireland in the 11th century with a strongbow.
Yeah, I'm. My family's on that side was Norman as well. Way back in the day. My mother's family's German, but yeah.
Mother's. Oh, sorry.
Whoosh, lad. My family came over during. My family came over with strongbow to Ireland. Pretty epic.
Norman master race.
The Normans.
Hello? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Oh, okay. So what are you guys talking about?
Just a bunch of stuff, just whatever people want to say. Yeah, I just like I said, I'm still a bit low energy just from my surgery, but so I figured I had some time today. I can't really go do anything, so let's have people on. So yeah, so so DSP, I guess just a note on that, like it's kind of like a drug, because the one day after work I recorded the rise and fall of DSP, why his downfall fascinates so many people, and I think it has like 60 or 70,000 views. Let me look at it. $100 off of it.
It's
So
kind of
it's
like, oh, sorry.
no, okay, 78,000 views.
Argent's breaking into the normie sphere.
Well, it's kind of, a lot of these memes are, I guess, kind of on the borderline. Like, I know some alt-like guys like Jim did a bunch of stuff on DSP, and I just kind of, it's partially, I just like the views, and I like the it brings a lot of kind of people who otherwise wouldn't kind of find me in. I've actually, not to toot my own horn, but I do find, like, I have left.
Hello?
It's kind of quiet on your side.
Hello?
Yeah.